What was it like to put Frankenstein's mask on once again in Inferno?
I was excited because I knew I could play with the character more this time. The previous incarnation I was tethered to the Statham movie, which he did a great job. But this time I had more freedom. Friendship with Raul Renee, the director. We had a great setting with Africa. It was just a broader experience. And for my character, I made him more internalized. He'd been through the gamut of emotions, surgery, the abuse of that, being in prison, driving against his will, not seeing the people he cared about, completely confined into his own little world. And I used all that to make him a lot more of an anti-hero. And I think this world needed that character. So I felt more assisted by the whole thing.
Great. How do you feel the setting ties back to Roger Corman's original Death Race 2000 movie?
I think it's a good question. I think there was a couple of, you can't do homages to that version without being inappropriate. Running over of certain individuals that didn't need to be run over, for example. When I first saw the movie, I thought there's one moment there's a poor cameraman shooting the footage and boom, taken out. I just thought, okay, there's an homage. So I actually saw more homages to the original in this third outing than I did in the previous ones.
What were some of the challenges filming in the desert?
Challenges filming in the desert, I think, obviously the heat, the dryness, it's the sand obviously gets everywhere. If you just can think about the physics of sand reaching all those places, just I think for any of us, it gets a bit old after 4 or 5 weeks of it. You just think, okay, I can do without sand in my vicinity.
What's a favorite memory from filming Inferno that you can share?
My favorite memory? I think my favorite memory is when we first got to Africa. Everybody, Danny Trejo, myself, Ving Rhames, Tanny was there again, and List, Fred, 14K played by Robin. We were all there, and we were like, you're a part of something that's a success because we're making another one, and here we are again. And I think that, for me, was the nicest moment, because that camaraderie and friendship went smack onto the screen. Like, you could feel it, and that's why I think the energy in this movie is so sort of paced, because that kind of friendship we had, we didn't have to waste any time. It's like, okay, let's go make another good movie, and we did, I think so.
What's it like getting behind the wheels of these souped-up cars in the franchise?
Well, I feel kind of spoiled, because a lot of the actors wanted to be behind the wheels of the cars, and they were allowed to sort of sit behind and go forward 2 or 3 feet and stop. But I'm like, the one thing I thought the previous movie didn't, if there was anything that was let down from my point of view, was the fact that we had green screen quite as much as we did. And I said, this time I got to get in that car, and so I did. But driving them is a lot of work. I mean, they really take a lot of manhandling. Then it's not like sitting back like driving the road. These are beasts to drive, but a lot of fun. I loved it.
Paul W.S. Anderson has had success with the Resident Evil video game movies. How have you seen Paul's gaming background impact elements of these Death Race movies, especially with the weapons and shields and that act like, gaming power-ups?
I see huge influence in the film, but I have to say, I get asked by a lot of people on a daily basis, like on the street, who say to me, man, why is this thing not a video game? I think Death Race, I'm a gamer, I play PlayStation all the time. I think Death Race as a video game would be unbelievably fun. I think, with the racing elements and then the kind of challenges and then just the weapons on the cars, I think a lot of guys that are gamers would play that game if it was executed well. But yeah, I see the influence almost in every frame.
Yeah, so to that point, Death Race video game.
Yeah, like I say, driving a car, like there's a lot, you get a lot of pursuit-based games where you get a police and a driver. That's fun, like the Need for Speed kind of franchise. But I think Death Race as a video game, if it was done well, like I say, a lot of movies when they're translated to video games are not done well enough, and I think that's a flaw. But I do think if this movie was translated well, I would buy it straight away.
Nice. Final question: where would you like to see the Death Race film franchise go next?
Oh dear. For me, I don't know. I think it would be nice to. I'm still curious to see about Lists and 14K being inside prison. I don't think there'd be anything wrong with maybe Danny, myself, and Ving conspiring and then coming together with a plan to get those boys out. I think that might be a way to go, like just break our way back in under some kind of disguise and give them a taste of freedom once again. I think that would be a fun story. That's just my idea.